Yo, man, I went to Burger King this morning. Well, I guess
This morning?
at 11, so that's morning technically. Don't
Okay,
don't judge me.
alright.
And so, cause
That's fine.
it's all the rage, that Impossible Whopper. Man, did you had that too?
I had one yesterday.
Yeah, I had it this morning because I'm like, okay, might as well see what everyone's talking about.
That's hilarious.
And yeah, now I'm an atheist. So.
What? Wait, that's not what that does to you.
Well, no, it's impossible. I said only God can make meat burgers. What is this nonsense? And they proved me wrong, so now I cannot believe in such.
So you enjoy the Impossible Burger, the Impossible Whopper.
I enjoy the fact that I could not tell that it was plant based. So,
okay,
yeah.
okay. We gotta go on like a because I need to try the Impossible Burger, like the I don't know if there's an origin for it, but I tried the Beyond Burger out here, and that one was obviously plant based. But the Impossible Whopper, on the other hand, was actually, well, it was plant-based, but I couldn't tell that it was plant-based. It tasted like meat. And it was extremely heavy, or was that just me? Maybe it was just me. Did you think it was heavy?
It was just a Whopper. I think the only thing I could tell was like it felt a little burnt, but obviously that's the cooking technique and not the actual burger. So, no, I couldn't tell the difference.
That's funny though. Wow, we both had the Impossible Whopper. Not only like it's on the same weekend too. That's hilarious. Oh wow. Would you go back?
Would I go back to Christianity? No.
Okay. Would you go back to the Burger King for the Impossible Whopper?
Yes.
Welcome everybody to the
Hello.
Yoshi's Word podcast. I am Jay. I just had an Impossible Burger yesterday. Oh, Impossible Whopper yesterday, and I'm feeling fine. What's up? Who am I talking with today?
I'm Neil. I'm on the line, and I am on the Impossible Burger too. And yeah, man, I gotta find a place because I think there's another burger place at like a mall around here that has like a I can't believe it's not meat burger. So. Just for comparison, I'll try it out there too.
Interesting. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I'm like, is it enough to turn you vegan though? Like,
no.
You like meat too much? That's fair. Oh my gosh. Well, welcome everyone. By now, you know this is the Yoshi's Word podcast, specifically the Dungeons and Dragons series that you're listening to right now. Maybe one of these days we'll make a food series and talk about food. I don't know.
Let us know what you want to hear.
But for now, we're discussing our homebrew campaign. If you're just jumping into this now, I highly recommend probably going back, listen to the first couple. I know they're pretty long, but hey, if you got a long drive, you got an airplane ride, or you got something, you just want to listen to two nerds talk about their game, click that link down in the description or on the sidebar, or I don't know how YouTube's gonna look like 5 years from now. But in this episode, we're going to talk about our last two sessions, which are pretty interesting. One was the resolution to the Dumila arc, or at least what I'm calling the second arc, right? I'm breaking everything into arcs now.
Yeah, you said the frigid desert. Yes, thank you.
Yes, I thought that was creative.
That was very good.
Thank you. And then our 13th session, what I called Feeling Green, that introduced the Gith to our players for the first time, and introduced the Greengrass Festival for the first time, which is an actual D&D calendar event. But yeah, we'll get into that, I think. Neil, are you ready to go?
I am. Let's do this.
All right, let's dive in. Session 12. Session 12, Freedom. This session, you guys continue as you're inside the vault of Dumila, this apocalyptic vault that has been standing for about 500 years. And more importantly, you guys have run into Genbu's brother, who he's been looking for, Guy Bulga, I believe is his full name.
Guy Bulga?
Guy Bulga, yeah, that's his whole name.
So is Brian Genbu Bulga?
No, Genbu is just his full name. It's Guy. It's not his last name. It's like actually Guy and then apostrophe Bulga. But to simplify it, it's Guy. And
Oh, okay.
I don't know the full context of it. That would have to be a Brian question fully if you wanted to know naming wise and all that good stuff.
Ryan, we know you're listening. Come on our podcast. Get on here, buddy. Come
on. Yes, get on here, Brian. No, but you guys meet his brother in this long-awaited reunion that happens. Should we start there? Or should I go full summary here? We'll start there, I think. I mean, from your perspective, Neil, like anything interesting that was happening there, or?
So we didn't just meet Guy. Kind of explained what he was doing down there and how he got there. Kind of. I think he described a few times throughout the session that he had a twinkle in his eye, not in a good way. Or at least how I was perceiving it, not a very good as in, like, good magical way. So I'm sure that'll be revealed later, but that's kind of the vibe I was getting from Guy. We also met a Kobold. Well, we met him in the last session, but now we know his name.
Right.
See, and I'm looking at what you put in the session 12 notes. I wrote down the name Owabi. I know that name. But you also...
Owabi.
And then, but I see here in the notes, the party talks to G-A-E. G? Gay?
That's Guy.
Guy?
It's spelled,
okay.
Guy.
See,
yes,
see, and thank you. In my notes, it's G-Y, like the guy from the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how I wrote it down. But thank you.
Sure, that's
fine. Now that makes more sense. I'm like, who's this G person? I know Guy. I don't know.
It's like you completely missed like a whole half of the session.
Yep.
It's like I was sitting there, like, where's this guy?
This guy just was a null Kobold down here, but no, we got to be formally introduced to Guy. We met the Kobold with the shank, Owabi, and then we also got a new party member in a Goliath.
That's correct. Yes, you did.
He was
you did
frozen,
party member,
like Encino Man, and his name is. Do you know that movie Encino Man?
No, I don't actually. Please quickly explain it. I do. Explain it for the viewers who don't.
So, Brendan Fraser, one of his earlier roles,
God.
He was a frozen caveman in, it's probably California. I'll say California.
That's what that movie's called?
Yeah, Encino Man, because it's Encino, California, if I'm not mistaken. And then Sean Astin and some other, like, early 90s actor resurrect him, and then they try to be the cool kids, because they got a caveman now. And that's why Brendan Fraser does not star in movies anymore. So... We meet a Goliath, which, by the way, so Goliath is a playable race. Yes. I thought that would just be a monster. But that was pretty cool having a giant who goes by the name of Drax on our team.
Yep.
And can I say who plays Drax?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's fine.
It is Brandon's real-life brother, Josh.
Yeah.
And he was really getting into his character and really getting into the session. So I appreciate that. I always appreciate when someone really becomes their character, because he was looking out for blood the whole time.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And going back to the session, so we meet everybody. We get their names. Mm-hmm. Goliath comes out. And then Guy's eyes change colors when somebody mentions the orbs. I don't know why. But we're going to find out why. Not from you, not now, but story-wise later on.
I don't remember saying that.
So he explains about the demons and how they feed on the people. Well, the ghosts, which was really weird. So you finally say the word that I was looking for. They're ghosts. We can finally get that out of the way. It's kind of like a Sixth Sense kind of thing. They're just there. Like Bruce Willis. A lot of movie references.
See dead people.
And then we also learn of the Kobold's master, and we are told not to fall for his neat tricks. But then, dude, this was the freakiest thing. Like, I don't know if it was the people with the highest perception and the highest arcana, but like you were describing that there's like a magical collar around his like wrists and his neck, preventing him from
kind of, like, as you guys kept kind of talking to him, it just kind of like. Anything he tried to do, these would just pierce into his skin, pretty much.
Yeah, dude, that was freaky. Like, you just had to, like, silence the man. You didn't have to torture him, too.
Hey, man, these villains don't fool around. Or, I mean, the bad guys don't fool around, dude. He's gotta, the big bad's gotta teach their slaves a lesson.
Right,
and try to do anything,
And he sure was big and he sure was bad, but just getting more into the beginning, Drax was explaining, kind of just jumping all over the place, but Drax was explaining he fought demons in hell. That was pretty weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of dude, I'm with you as far as knowing as much as you know. Whatever was brought to that table that day was not discussed with me prior, so
Okay,
there was all this interesting
because
I
I was
I
like,
think
okay, he fights demons in hell, then he got frozen and ended up in like a vault. That's
right.
I was trying to like piece it together, but I'm sure Josh will explain
Yeah.
things
I'm still trying to
going
piece it
forward.
together too. Like, okay, cool.
And so after the introductions, we're on the fifth floor now, going down, obviously. And
Oh,
now,
before that though, did we discuss the ghosts? The ghost village basically?
um, we, if you
Did
could
we
kind of reiterate your descriptions, because that's all I wrote down. That the demons fed on the ghosts, and
Gotcha.
that's about it.
Yeah, after a certain point, you guys were rather Owabi was like, "Can we trust these guys?" And guy was like, "Yeah, it's fine." And the actual, well, not the I shouldn't say the actual, but the rest of the villagers of Dumila showed themselves to you guys, which in this case were more bluish skinned creatures, which at that point were you realize were all ghosts. What you guys were assuming prior is true. Like they've been dead for years.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, I just wanted to bring that detail up. I don't know if there's anything
And how
you
long have they been
remembered.
dead?
I never gave a specific time. If anything, they've had to have been dead probably maybe let's say like 400 years.
Still,
If
that's still too long, man. I thought it
yeah,
was just like,
assuming some of
okay,
them
this was
survived.
recent, or maybe 100 years at least, but 400 years. God damn!
Right.
Like a majority of the characters that I have made aren't even alive yet.
Yeah, yeah. The
So
lore from like the books that like Key's journal and some of the lore that I was kind of building through all that stuff was very like they moved into there. They may have survived for at least a decade, maybe not even that long, and not a, or I'm sorry, a decade. What decades? What 10 years? Centuries? 100?
centuries,
Is that
100.
right?
Yes.
Maybe a century, but it's kind of one of those like yeah they survived for a little bit they were like we can't live like this forever. They sent Key out, and then that's when um, a potential dragon took over and ended up using it as its home base. So kind of a mess of things, and then
Hmm.
after that it just kind of stayed like that, stayed as his base for good like 400 years pretty much. um kind of leads perfectly into you guys what you were saying. You guys head downstairs into the elders council room, and you
Yeah,
meet a another kobold.
a blue kobold to be specific, and we
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what was going on with this one. We're like, is this the master? Is this just some other kobold who needs some help? We just didn't
Right.
know. And one of the interesting details was like you could tell right away the connection just between the oasis and here, because like I think how you described the room, it was just very similar to the council chambers, like in the oasis room where we found the not the orb but the vault key.
The vault key,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, that's correct.
So there's that connection. So I was like, oh, okay, so this is where they all ran off to, but they're not here. Only this blue kobold, just with chairs and
Yeah.
a table, and he's. I think he wanted us to sit, and some of us were wary in the party. Good for them.
Right.
Me, I was just being the cocky son of a bitch that I am, and I just sat like, because I think he described it kind of like a long table, so he was on one end, so I just decided to go on the
Yeah,
other side of the end.
yeah, it was a long council room table. The kobold invited you in, even offered you guys some food by magically, conjuring it up, pretty much. And yeah, I think half of you guys came and sat in. The other half was like, I'm just gonna stand
I
right
think,
here.
yeah, I think it was just me and Novell who just sat, and of
Yep.
course it screws us over. I mean, it wasn't the kobold's fight, or excuse me, it wasn't the kobold's fault, because he just went off, I think, underneath a banner, like into the next room.
Right.
Which,
He
by the way,
started
the
coughing.
yes, uh, the banner had the D in it, another connection to.
Yep.
I don't know, the D's for Dumila. I just got that now.
Seriously?
Like honestly, yes,
Okay.
because I thought I was like D, what's D? D.
What did you think it was?
I don't know. I think I was just too focused on lowercase and uppercase D that I didn't care what it stood for.
I got you.
So,
okay.
but now, okay, so this is the sigil or banner of Dumila.
Yes, exactly.
There we go. It shows how much I pay attention.
Hey, it's fine. That's how immersed you are in the game that like you don't care about the banner. You're worried about
like what does the banner do? Will it kill me?
Yeah,
Or
what are you
does this
sitting
lead?
on? Yeah, what is this kobold doing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
So the kobold leaves. We still don't know what his or her intentions is, but the chairs turn out to be mimics, and that was the first fight. I think it grappled me because I was sitting down, and obviously Chris as well.
Yeah.
So the fight ensues. Genbu breaks a chair upon a chair. That was a cool finisher.
So yep.
And then I wanted to do something with Drax, but Drax, I think he like opened up the thing's mouth and like ripped its teeth out because I think that's his thing.
Yeah.
And I was just saying like I just wanted to slam a chair through a table, man. But...
Yeah, that was really funny. I think you cut out too, or like Drax wasn't like didn't hear you, so like you were like. Drax, like, do something, and then, like, he's like, oh, okay, and then he ripped it in half, and you're like, what the hell, man?
I wasn't expecting that. I thought
he'd really funny.
I thought he'd be a lovable giant, but no, he's out for teeth and blood.
Yeah, this insanely violent. Nope.
Mm-hmm. So the fight was, it was pretty interesting, just fighting inanimate objects for once. Well, mimics, but...
Sure, yeah.
That's always good. I want you to make a mimic that you would not expect. Because, like, a chair, okay, I could see that happening. But, because mimics can only be inanimate objects, or can they be people, too?
I think they have to be inanimate objects. People would really be more changelings.
Changelings, that's true.
I guess, I mean, if we're talking about rules as written, it's probably just objects. If we're talking about, homebrew, I can make it whatever I want.
Yeah, I guess.
But a changeling might be much stronger. A mimic's more like they're not really sentient. They're just a creature that will chew at you and can look like other things. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But anyway,
House of Mimics coming soon.
House of Mimics. The whole house is a mimic.
That's
the final
At
boss.
At the end,
yeah.
It's like, where is it? We've been trying to fight this thing this whole time. We're in it this whole time.
Yeah, right.
Monster.
Oh man.
But anyways, that was that fight. So that was pretty cool. And then we wanted to go behind the curtain, and it turned out it gets cold, really quick. Because behind the curtain, the cold room, there's icicles. There's a hole, I think you described, in the very top.
Yes, very large hole. And
you were just saying, dude, this was such a good description. You were saying like the wind was howling and like snow was just falling to the top.
Yes.
And that was pretty good.
The blizzard you pass through is just howling above that giant hole that was created at that time. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it sets the scene and just the overall purpose of this place. So that was pretty good.
Right. Thanks.
So the blue kobold comes out, or we see him. I think he was like slumped over the floor or something.
Yeah, he slumped over the floor coughing. I think there was a little hint of blood that he started coughing up, stuff like that.
Yep. And we hear the name Suna. I wrote that down.
Do you hear it? I think someone yelled for Suna or called for Suna.
Okay.
There's like an interesting I'm trying to remember it too now, but because I think you guys were trying to figure out if it was also Owabi, so you're trying to ask Suna to check for Owabi, and Suna didn't appear. Rather, the kobold, and correct me if I'm wrong, the kobold that was in front of you guys started shifting in and out of Suna's like visage. Basically.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like a weird Zordon type thing where it's like we saw the hologram side of him, and now we see, oh, this is the foundation. This is the actual like servant. Right. So, but the hologram was never sick, which I don't know how holograms work in D&D or how you were trying to like make it, but like there was no hint whatsoever that Suna was like ill or like coughing up blood.
Did you understand what was happening fully, like with that whole entire scene, or?
Looking back, trying to remember it, I can't really tell you. Sorry.
Okay, so no, that's okay. So to kind of clarify that picture, it was let's jump ahead first real quick, where you guys, on top of I think trying to race this kobold to the which first off, to set up this whole entire room, it's a frozen room, ice everywhere, gold, like a pile of gold and treasure on one side, and in the middle of the room is the first orb, the devil's heart that you
Oh
guys
yeah,
came here to
the
look
main
for in the first
prize.
place.
Yep.
Yeah, and the kobold itself it was like slumped against like the staircase leading to the orb, and you guys were kind of confused at first and like thought it was trying to like run to the orb or something, until you realized you tried helping it, and it became kind of this weird kobold Suna mixed servant kind of creature. Once you guys finished what we're going to talk about, finished the whole situation in the room, what happened was it was a protocol that was overridden. So anyone who was brought down to the bottom, Suna was to pretend to be a kobold to bring people into the icicle room, so that anyone who survives the mimics in the first place will get killed.
Oh, so the kobold is not Suna's real form.
It's not his real form. It's just a fake form he overtakes.
Oh, okay, I thought it was like I said, I thought it was like, okay, this is Zordon in the glass.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's why I was
okay.
asking you.
Okay.
If it's like what you thought it was. So
Okay.
in reality, it's more of
Just like
it was
a disguise to, like you said, lead people into the dragon.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
And I think now that you're saying it out loud, yes, I do remember that fact that he was bait. I just forgot that was the disguise for the bait.
Yeah, it's fine. No, it's a lot was happening in this whole entire scene where you guys fought mimics and immediately you walked into another room that was frozen over, if anything, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like you discovered this was Suna, and then you guys heard a loud voice come from above you guys.
We did. Oh my god. So we were saying that Suna was acting as bait because he was
Yep.
bait for the occupant of this cavern,
Yep.
an adult white dragon.
Yep.
That was a big thing he just threw at us. I was just expecting like a demon,
Right.
or
yeah.
something else, but no, you just straight up threw a dragon at us, man. One note I want to make is that me and Genbu, we cool runnings it because I think the floor was icy.
That's right.
And he's like, he gets into his shell, and I just like, I don't think I kicked him. I think I kind of just like shoved him.
Yeah.
And then did I ride him also? Because yeah, it's cool runnings. It was like we bobsledded it, right?
Yes, I think I let you rule of cooled it, and I let you push him and hop on him with his permission, and you guys slid forward. I think to Suna, if anything.
Yes, that was it. I wrote
yeah.
that before the big fight.
Yeah. Yes, you definitely did do that.
So, fight with the dragon ensues. He's flying around. Guy comes down to heal. So that was great because, by the way, at this point, our party's cut in half. Oh, yeah. I did want to mention that. The fact that we got Drax the Goliath is the fact that our party numbers has pretty much gone down to 3 of the original.
That's 4 of the original.
At this point? Oh, right. So, original 4. So, me, Brandon, Chris, and Brian, with special guest Josh now as our Goliath. So, basically, going back to the fight, yeah, we didn't have a healer, so it was nice having the Goliath. It was nice having Guy come down to heal.
Yeah.
Man, that dragon, I think he knocked me out twice, which is a given.
Yeah, you guys got knocked down a couple times.
Yeah, that was a very intense fight. But we pulled through, and we got that dragon down. We got his treasure. Dragons always love treasure.
Yep.
Anything that you remember from the fight?
It's more of a meta, like, out of game thing. We ended up having, shout out to combat tiers, which I love those things. The stackable, not stackable. They're like vertical tiers, so you can actually have like
Dude, when you saw that, yeah, he was high up. That's why I wrote down flying was cool, because he was actually in the air.
Yeah.
On a platform.
I felt, and back to Endgame, if anything, I felt like that made for a way better visual, both visual and it and it what am I trying to say? And it made the battlefield, the plane, like much more bigger.
Oh yeah,
Because so far we've only had like 2D fights, but for it
right.
to go up into the air, um, in my opinion, made it like way more interesting. Because once he did that, it was like you and Drax were like, "Frig, we can't hit him." Or you, Drax, and Gendu were like, "Well, we can't do anything." You guys had to turn to your warlock and um,
And snipes,
your
get him,
archer,
shoot
and
him down.
they had to like when I remember explaining, especially with Novell, because she's using Eldritch Blast most of the time. It's like, and I always imagine Eldritch Blast like Iron Man's arc reactors, like just
It's like
shooting beams. So
giant
like
cone of
I would
light.
yeah, I enjoyed like Eldritch Blast. She Eldritch Blast into excuse me, towards Kakashi, and like uh Kakashi's the name of the white dragon.
Oh yeah, I
You
forgot
said
to
that.
mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wrote that down
um
too.
and the beam missed or something, so like it hit the wall, and and like icicles started falling from the ceiling and stuff. It
Yeah.
was just, I felt like it was a much more intense scene with this dragon, not only face to face, but just flying around
Hmm.
dodging these beams, and then being like, all right, fine, F you, I'm just gonna fly back above you and do do a freaking breath, dragon breath or something, and then land down and start swiping at your faces. It's like, it was great. Like,
It was
I really
yeah,
enjoyed doing that.
and I
So,
liken it to the upgrade of like a video game engine, where because I think
yeah,
before our only way of like simulating flight was stacking our characters on top of the dice
that's correct.
holder, and
Yeah.
that was just for Kristen's air croaking. That was her.
Air Crocra most of the time. Yeah, her Air Crocra, because she was a bird lady. Or he was a bird. She was a, yeah, bird boy. And then sometimes I put in a flying creature, and they may or may not needed to fly. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
but for
mean,
the most part, it was just like you said, lower the ground. But now we have three different tiers
yeah,
of dimensional space now.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it goes up to like 80 feet, I think. Or if
Oh
I use
wow,
all of them, it can go up to like 100 something feet.
that's
So
nice.
yeah, it's pretty great.
But back to the fight though. I'm trying to remember.
it
Didn't Chris use like a specific spell to get the dragon down and ground it?
um I think she did the psychic blast or something. I don't remember the name of it. But because it had the kind of like the muddled thoughts, and because I think she maxed out on it, or she nat 20 maybe, I let her have it fall to the ground,
Yeah,
or
that was pretty.
prone
That was
into its
badass.
treasure. So that was cool too. There's a lot happening. That was like, it wouldn't have been like that without the dragon actually flying around and stuff. So but yeah, that was great. Yeah, I do
That
remember
was.
that now that I'm thinking about it. So, but yeah,
So
that's all I have to add to that. You guys fought him. Um, you guys beat him successfully.
we did by the skin of our
Yeah,
teeth, and
yeah,
that's when we finally grabbed the orb, the devil's heart, as we find out
right.
what it's called.
Which you couldn't grab it immediately, is
Yep,
what you guys learned. It was
because it's
way
like
too
it
cold.
was cold to the touch, and we
Right,
needed a special flame pouch to hold the orb.
right. Which you were lucky enough to find in the dragon's treasure room.
Yeah, very coincidentally, we found like I think that and a sword.
Yeah, you
Kind
guys
of,
found a sword and a staff, and I think a good amount of gold, if anything.
yep. I only grabbed the gold, so I didn't write too much about the weapons and the staff.
Gotcha.
So
Understandable.
that was it. We learned that the wizards couldn't control the orb.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then after the fight, good transition. The wind was gone. The sun was coming up. We
Mm-hmm.
learned that the dragon used the ghosts as bait,
Mm-hmm.
and that we were supposed to get the vault key to come in.
Yep.
That was something I was trying to understand. So even the vault key itself was like a trap.
Right.
Trying to get
So,
that.
and I thought we spoke about this, but I can, not a huge deal. I'm just trying to remember. Like, I think I spoke somewhat about it. But yeah, the vault key was a contingency plan, but once Kakashi took it over, and if you remember that dungeon itself, the top parts were all kind of ice based, like traps. It was like a frozen
Yes.
based trap, which wasn't, which completely changed once you found the real room. It was like a sand golem and just a council room. So Kakashi built on top of that, using it as a way to continue to trick people and kill people and just feast for the rest of his life, pretty much.
So if you die in the Oasis, do you get fed on over there? Like, does he like fly over there and eat them there?
Pretty much, that would be the idea. I mean, he's got to find treasure. His whole life would be find treasure, eat people, rinse, repeat. No
You
one's
think
bothering me in the middle of the desert.
but you'd think somebody would report a giant ass white dragon flying from Dumila to the Oasis.
Yeah, well, I guess. Well, if they survived, or
If they survive, yeah.
or if people are even traveling to the desert to.
That's
Manila
true.
at
Oh
this
yeah, are
point.
we the first to come over to that area in like 400 years?
Pretty much,
Wow.
you can think of it that way. I mean, Achilea and them were busy doing other things, and they didn't want to disrupt what to them, to the
Was
foreigners,
nature.
may have been seemed like a natural blizzard. Like that's not their place to change it.
Mm.
So in other words, yeah, you guys would have been the first to even try and go into that city in the blizzard in 500 years. So yeah.
Okay, that explains that nasty old dragon.
Yep.
So we get the orb, we open up the flame pouch, and obviously, as its name implies, it's hot enough to hold the cold enough orb. And
Correct.
we get that in there. I don't know who currently, well, we don't currently have it anymore. I'd assume we gave it back to the kingdom.
You
But
get
I
the
forget.
philosophy. Yeah.
Yes, but like, who was holding onto the pouch like after the fight?
That's a good question. I don't actually remember who was the one that held it.
Because I want to know if they would get corrupted by power and run away with it.
I felt like Genbu or Novell may have done it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really recall. Nothing happened. To your point.
So going back to my notes, I wrote down Drax was kind of giving his backstory. So he was a bodyguard at one point, and he referenced David versus Goliath, which I thought was pretty
Right.
cool. So I guess in this version, he kills the small, tiny man with a slingshot because he's still alive, obviously.
I think that was his. I don't know. Actually, like I was hanging out with Josh yesterday, and we kind of spoke about it. And he's just kind of like, "I'm just going with the flow." So
Oh, he's just saying it off the cuff.
Yeah, I think he's just saying it
Okay.
off the cuff, which is kind of like, okay, I'm like, just let me know if I should be making note of this stuff to like make something.
Yeah,
for
like
it.
what's
Okay.
real, what's not, or is it
Yeah, I
all
was
real?
like, right.
Whatever he says, this is gospel.
Yeah.
But I do know what he does love. He does have a love for teeth because after the fight, me and Drax, we carved out a huge tooth for him. Which, by the way, I don't know how he's carrying that because it's a large dragon tooth. It's probably the size of a small child.
It's not. It's. I guess that would break some stuff. Yeah, for now it's not breaking anything, so I'll just let it go
All right.
as the DM. But you right, it is a little weird. He's just carrying around like a hat. Well, I guess he's a Goliath, so I guess it'd be like a backpack to him versus like.
Like, yeah, if he hollows it out, maybe,
Yeah.
but
But I mean, yeah, it is still a pretty big tooth.
Yeah.
You right.
So we get the tooth. Guy leaves. He still has that flicker in his eye.
Yep.
Does he mention why he's leaving, or it was just kind of like an ominous, I'm gonna get out of here?
No, you guys kind of turn around and he's just gone.
He's just gone.
He disappears. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And okay, and
It-
we'll see him next time when he comes up.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting too because I felt like Genbu was like, well, at least I know my brother's alive. So
I would have thought he
not-
would like try to like look for him, like, wait, where'd he go?
that's what I
chase
was
after him.
expecting out of Brian too. But the reaction was very just like, at least he's alive. I'm not worried about him anymore. I'll see him when I see him, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Interesting take on it. So
that, for now, ends the Genbu Guy saga.
right.
So we come to find out that the ghosts still go on to live in the town even after killing this dragon. They're gonna rebuild and clean everything. And Violet is kind of sorry because she was kind of the bait too.
She was the bait. Yeah. Yes. Violet definitely was it's a very, so, The reason why a lot of this was laid out the way it was to kind of get into like the DM's mind, if you don't mind me
No
interrupting
problem.
you, and I'm hoping I don't have my hold on. Let me just Google this real quick. So I'm right, but I'm probably not. I'm probably reading things incorrectly. But according to like the source material in D&D, white dragons aren't exactly the smartest people, the smartest dragon of the dragons that exist. They're kind of like the dumb dragon race, if that makes sense. The dumb dragon species of the dragons.
Okay, so would you say more feral or just straight up low intelligence?
Low intelligence.
Okay.
Like, well,
So
a bit of both.
so not
Like,
even an animalistic type of thing. It's just they just don't think things out.
they just don't think things out. Like
Okay.
they're pretty dumb. Oh, you know what? I guess here I just went to the wiki. They were the weakest and most feral of the classic
Oh,
chromatic
see,
dragons.
that makes sense now.
So, so you know Kakashi. The way I wrote him up was like, okay, so he's not really the smartest, and he needs other things to kind of weave the way he wants it to be. He's not the one tricking people. He's getting other people to trick things for him because he's too busy looking for gold and just eating things. That's kind of just what I made him out to be. So he was smart enough to, if anything, trick Suna or get Suna to become his kind of puppet, and then he rewrote everything that he could through Suna. So that's why a lot of things are, here's the trap, here's the trap, here's the trap, here's the thing that baits you, here's the thing that baits you. And at the end, as long as he gets to eat, he doesn't care how it's set up anymore. He just gets to eat. So that's how I built that character, which is why there's a repetition of like bait, 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 trap, 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 trap.
Yes, but we ended that cycle now. Now the ghosts get to live in peace.
That's correct.
I did ask you this like after we were done, but it's like, so it sounds like possibly that people could go to this town, like live people, and like just coexist with the ghosts.
Sure.
So I would like to see that in the future. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? Like, it's like Casper the Friendly Ghost, I guess, is the best example. I mean, hey, if the ghost isn't trying to kill you, why do you got to get rid of the ghost, and why can't they live together? There's nothing wrong with it. So
how do they touch though?
Why would they need a touch?
If they were shaking hands. Like, oh, I will work on this side while you work on that side of the town. Okay. Oh.
Well, they'll have to do deals by signing papers, I guess.
Okay.
With their ectoplasm and ink.
That's true. I'm sure there's going to be some wizardry involved. We'll make it work out.
Yeah, well,
That's
I mean,
fine.
I could always, if anything, we did have Violet grab some things.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So she's like the ambassador between the two.
Yeah, so she might be able, Ghost may be able to touch
Okay.
things in the real world if they needed to.
That's so nice. Speaking of more ghosts in the town, we kind of revisit Ko and Sheena. And
Right.
we get the ghost ball before they...
Yes.
I think they move on. They don't stay in town.
They do move on, yes.
So, oh yeah, because it's like a choice. It's like you can go on to the afterlife or you can stay in town. And
Right, yeah.
hey, at least they have a choice. That's pretty cool. Sometimes you're stuck with one or the other and you can't do anything about it. So I thought that was...
leave.
It's like, no, but I want to stay. Too bad.
Yeah.
It's like...
To the astral plane with you.
It's like, no.
Goodbye. That's funny. But yeah, no, you visit the crying child and the mother.
Yes, and we get the ghost ball.
Yeah.
I forgot who took that, but they get that special item.
Cold
No, I
ball.
think we tried it out. The ball.
You did.
'Cause
On
someone
your way
chucked it
back.
at me.
That's correct. I think it was Genbu. I think Genbu has it.
Yeah, we were playing catch, and I think it
Yep.
was it like an Ant-Man type thing, and it like just grew really, really big, and then it hit me.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to explain it. Yeah, pretty much once you speak Ko's, I think it was Ko's command word or something, or just say Ko.
I think so. Yeah.
It triples, quadruples in size into this giant dodgeball basically that just is like a boulder and just does damage pretty much.
Nice.
It was just a silly thing that I thought, on top of creating a magic item that wasn't too overpowered, it was kind of like a trinket of like Dumila. Like,
Yeah, it's good. Like you said, trinket, good souvenir. I know I have my postcards, but to have like an item from the town that will actually have a purpose and help us, that's
Right.
very good to have.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's purpose, and I also just thought it was like fun. So, but yeah, that's definitely what it did. It was a small ball that grew in size that once you threw it, it just boof, became a thing. So
Very cool.
yeah,
On a sad note, though, kind of leaving Ko and Sheena, we kind of revisited the journal that I
right.
left there, and I just wrote down 3 words: "I have failed." So that was really sad.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
He could have saved an
He
entire town.
he
Kind of.
failed. Fell into the trap, if anything, of Kakashi. So
Hmm.
the guy who was supposed to help died to what you guys finally defeated. But yeah, yeah, Dumila was supposed to be kind of that sad story, which hope
It
it
is.
was.
It was. It was just, yeah, very somber, just very
Yeah,
melancholy. I mean, the ghosts are still there, but obviously they're not. They're not
yeah.
alive.
They're
They're
not. They're not
the
basically. They're not being what's it called? Being farmed to
right.
be like eaten and
Exactly.
being like rinsed and repeated to like kill other people. Oh my gosh. Because yeah, that was the whole concept too of like the dungeons would reset itself and everything would kind of reset itself so that next next people who come and succeed or come and fail end up
Hmm.
getting eaten, if any. So
Oh, one last thing. I don't know if you can kind of jog my memory on this. I wrote down flower elevator.
flower elevator.
Can you remind me what that is?
Yeah, I mean actually that's a perfect transition. So once you guys finish, and I think you stay the night in Dumila, is that correct?
We did.
Yeah,
I believe
you
so.
you guys call Achillia for a ride back. You pretty much figured it'd be the fastest way back to Dorakuma.
Hmm.
So you stay the night. Achillia though has to travel to you guys and is like, I'm out of magic. We need a rest. And then the next day comes and Achillia creates her. You guys, as you've seen it most of the time, is her large Achillia summon plant that she uses to travel.
Yes.
But in this case, you guys actually get to hop inside of it and ride it. So the way I described that was you guys go inside of it and it you can feel it as like the elevator goes down under the ground and goes forward, a la Willy Wonka's
Yeah,
glass
I wrote
elevator.
down, yeah, some Willy Wonka shit.
Yeah,
That was so cool.
and it zooms all the way as far as the Temple of Thoth, as that's as much as Achillia's magic can bring you guys halfway there. As
Hmm.
you hit Temple of Thoth, and you pop back out again, elevator style out of the ground, and it opens up, setting you guys outside of the desert and halfway back to Dorakuma. So that would explain the elevator.
Yes, and that was such a fun way to get back. Well,
Mm-hmm.
halfway back.
Yep.
We run into the Temple of Thoth, like you said.
Yep.
I was kind of. I know we were probably gonna get back to it, but I kind of wanted to resolve the whole like giant worm thing in the desert
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, ordeal before we went back in. But I think you
Yeah.
mentioned you had like one of the characters mentioned, oh, we'll just put in a request with the EAA,
The
and then
EA. Yeah.
when you're ready. So I thought that was good
Yeah.
instead of having to just do it right there or it goes away. Well, I'm sure it'll go away if we wait too long. Maybe, I don't know.
That I'll be honest with you now. That honestly, that it won't go away for one, and two, that was actually like a personal quest. That's Missoula's personal quest actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she needs a piece of she needs like the shell of a sandworm for her ingredients. So right now that's kind of a moot point of like you guys can do it. I'll probably remind you to get that piece, and sadly it might not resolve into anything other than you guys helping, you know,
Yeah,
helping the Temple of Thought. But in regards to like characters and story driven stuff, it's kind of a moot point. So
I see. So
yeah.
we
So
can we can't solve someone's personal quest from a third person perspective.
I mean, I guess you could. I mean, I would personally ask the player though. Like, hey, do you
Yes,
want us to
definitely.
collect your things? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't see why not. Yeah, go for it. But, yeah, that's just I don't mind telling you that because it's just one of those things where it's like if you guys do it and then you guys forget or we all forget and it's like oh
Mhm.
yeah that's right. Let me just summon another sandworm. that
There
you
you
actually
go.
go to.
Just in
So
the middle of town. There you go.
yeah, so that's kind of its existence, but yeah, I mean, for the sake of like it always existing, it can be on the EAA. I mean, if it really is to a point where out of game, if you guys just don't care anymore, or if it's one of the two where it's just like, I'll put it to the side and it'll always be there. But story wise, maybe it'll disappear at some point.
Yeah, we'll see, man. And I certainly, like I said, I just don't like leaving things open ended. So
Right.
hopefully
Yeah,
we'll go
no,
back
I
to it.
get you. I get you for sure. So,
But that'll have to wait for another day because now our party's going back to town.
yeah.
And Tree Man's Revenge is what I wrote down
Tree Man's Revenge, yeah.
because
Okay.
no, he's seriously, I think his last words were, "I'm gonna get you, kids,"
Right.
and that meddling dog too.
Yeah,
So
yep.
he's back. He possessed them. Well, he doesn't possess trees. He just blends in with them, I
He
think.
blends in with them, yes. He's
Yeah.
more of a humanoid looking demon.
So he ran across the whole desert to blend into another tree, and I think there's two tree creatures this time. It's
Yes.
him and his lackey.
Yeah.
So we get into a fight with a tree. The guards telling us, "Hey, get in there." We jump in.
Right.
We get a little help here too because there's some sort of masked creature who's I want to say creature because I don't know what the heck it is, but he's
Yeah.
masked. He's dashing around like a ninja. He's got some that special dagger that absorbs demons, and
Yep.
he says, "Hey, it's your turn," and gives it to me.
Yep.
And of course, my herpes starts flaring, and my necklace.
I don't think that's how it works.
Okay. It's a rash, if anything. But it tells me, yo, you got that dagger, son. Get that demon. And
Yeah.
I think part of me wasn't paying attention, and part of me didn't want the demon to do anything, so I chucked the dagger back
Yeah, you did.
to uh
You chuck it at Floriana.
yeah,
I think,
Floriana,
if anything.
yeah, because she's the one she's there too.
She was like, "What
And
the hell?"
yeah, what are you doing, man? You trying to end this?
Yes.
But no, I get onto that tree and I well, I don't know if I stabbed it. I forgot who ended it. But yeah, we see the dagger in action, and we get to absorb the demon to the dagger. It's like a black liquid. I think you described it,
Floriana
just like
went back up
in the
to you
dagger.
and I kind of had to break character and be like, no, she's explaining that because you thought she wanted you to stab it into your necklace, and Floriana was like, no, stab it into the demon, you'll be fine. So I think you did get the final hit and you stabbed it into the creature,
Okay.
taking the absorbing not absorbing but kind of ghostbustering the
Yeah,
demon
that's
into
what
the
I
dagger.
that's what it felt like. Just
Yeah.
instead of a vacuum, it was like an actual weapon.
Yeah, yep. And then you gave it back to Floriana, who was like, "Sweet, more experimentation. See ya."
That's
She
right.
dip back out.
And we also find out that because I kind of want some more answers. We find out that he's kind of like still. Well, we'll say he's got a few scabs on him, but he's all right.
Yeah.
And he's working in a lab in the castle on house
Yep.
arrest.
Yep.
So after that fight, we meet with the king. Oh, thank you for getting one of the keys. And we find out that our next possible location is Kalarua. And that
Kalalua.
Sorry, I'm like messing it up.
No, that's okay. Yeah,
Kal-
I mean
Kalalua?
Kalalua. Yeah,
Kalalua.
Kalalua.
Okay,
Kalalua.
if I had more of an Asian accent, I would have been saying it right. But that sounds like the next part we're going to, or the next key we're going to get,
Right.
next town we're going to go to. And
Right,
one of the
yeah.
things that's going on is, so people are like, they're departing the town. They're just like fleeing it. I don't want to say in exile, but it sounds like it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know yet.
But that's what's going on, and we're gonna find out.
Yeah, next time on this episode. Yeah. Yup. Yeah.
So-
Actually, I'm surprised you know that. I didn't even note that.
I'm looking forward to it. I think how we were talking about before, just as long as you make each town distinct, whether it's situation, geography, just however you describe it, as long as each town is distinct, that's all you need to do.
Right,
And then it's a good time, which is what you're doing because, there's a weird blizzard. Oh, let's check that out. There's people just fleeing this town that was okay for about, a few years. Oh, let's check that out.
Right.
It what pulls you into the story. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Cool, man. No, I'm glad. What else happens there? I think you skipped a couple. No, you didn't. No, you're good. You got your armor. and you visited your
Oh, I
mom.
did. I got my super sweet shell armor, or my studded
Yeah.
leather.
Are those on
So
your
that
nipples?
no, it's not on my nipples. It's not like goddamn Mermaid Man. It's like studs. Look up studded
Mermaid
armor.
Man.
Look up studded armor, and just
Is
instead of the
Genbu
studs,
or Darien your barnacle boy?
I don't know. It's kind of tough because they're like bigger, or as big or bigger than me, so it's kind of tough. I'll find one eventually. Maybe Eli. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Eli's your barnacle boy.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, that's so funny.
So, I mean, pertinent to what I remember, I know that I interrogated She a little bit. I kind of asked about where he got the necklace. I mean, we all know kind of where he got it, but
Right.
you know, he kind of just confirmed that yeah, the demon prince gave a little man the necklace,
Right.
and he says one of the keys is to trick the demon, which
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out what that means because I'm like, oh, okay. Trick the demon, the one that almost had me kill my friend. I have to trick that thing.
Right.
And I also wrote down Eladir, the Sword Coast is burning. I think that's what I wrote down.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't know if that was like a dream I had in game or out of game, but that's something.
The Sword Coast is burning.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm like, I remember the scene where you and She were talking, and you both kind of felt the pain. Like the demons, both of the demons that were corrupting both of you, like linked for a second, and both of you felt this like searing pain, basically.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember if you. I don't know. Maybe you had another vision. Probably. That's at this point, it's becoming kind of common for Phalion to keep having these false visions.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on in the real world anymore.
Right, right.
But other than that, to cap off the session, we there's like a get the Yankee tribe. We meet them. There's a flying boat over that storms the Villacor University, just flying on there, kind of like Bowser's shit. And one of the things that stuck out to me, I wrote this down. It's someone was yelling out that he was looking for immortality.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much, man.
I believe that has something to do with the university.
And that cuts off that. Yeah, and that finishes, like you said, that tops of that session. That's kind of that little cliffhanger. Is like, whoop. And we end that session. I don't know. Did you have any thoughts on that? It definitely goes into more detail in the next.
Yeah, it all gets answered. See, that's the beauty of like 12 and 13. It like, okay, cliffhanger. Now we'll tell you what it's all about. So I think we should we might as well just talk about session 13. But no, that's a great way to. I don't know. Well, part of me is like, oh, this is cool. There's more action in the town. But then the other half of me is like, wait, why is this our problem? Why didn't the guards like do anything about this while we were gone? Or while we were just like away. But
well, it wasn't while you were away. The next day happened, and the portal opened up immediately, like right when the next day happened.
That's right.
It was the same day. Yeah, the boat wasn't just hovering there for like a week.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I listen in my mind like there's scouts or something, but like you said, it's a portal. No, you can't predict that.
Exactly. So. It's just, here we go. Next thing happening. So I think with that, we're ready to discuss session 13. Just to dive right into it.
Let's go.
Yay. Session 13, Feeling Green. And to what we were just talking about, the Gith attack this day. Dun dun dun. Y'all wake up and you hear some loud yelling and some booming explosions. And as you guys all dash out of the places you sleep in and finally meet up, at least you, Darien, and Drax, you all meet up together and head towards the Villacor University.
Yeah, a lot of commotion. I mean, obviously there's a giant airship just hovering over it. But I think what tips us off, like what wakes us up, is just the noise of the engine. I know that distinctly was the noise that I heard. So I get out of the tavern. You know, the boys get out of the EAA and we all start running towards the university.
Yep, and you see Novelle as she comes down her home, which is like next door to the university. And I think if I remember correctly, she sees you guys, but kind of is like more concerned about the university as she dashes over there. you guys kind of follow suit with her after that.
That's right. So we meet up. By the way, did we explain how Genbu is no longer, or who he wasn't there that session?
We did not say that, and I don't remember if we made up an excuse as to why he wasn't there.
He overslept.
Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
it's too early.
but yeah, the party is me, Snipes, and Goliath Man, and
Right.
Squirrel Girl. We're all into
Right.
university. And we see these Gith, and how you described them, they were like greenish, elvish creatures. I thought they were just elves with like really bad case of scurvy or something, but no, they're actually from like a different dimension.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And their leader is General Gunn,
Yep.
and he's looking for the Seeker's Apprentice. I wonder who that could be. I hope it's someone important in our party.
Nah.
We'll figure it out. But it was cool. It was a cool pirates versus wizard fight that was happening all over the area.
Yep.
One of the cool details that you mentioned, like there were just barriers in place, like the wizards were just like propping up these barriers, kind of like some Doctor Strange shit. So I liked that. I thought that was pretty good. We enter the university and we meet Chief Torbera, who's a dragonborn. I put down a side note, Aladdin. I don't know why I did that, but
I don't know why you did that
I don't know either. Could you describe Torbera? Maybe that'll jog my memory.
I just noted that she's dragonborn, stands up straight, leading the Dorikuma Guard, or kind of not leading the Dorikuma Guard, but leading a sect of it. And she's a friend to the Villacor family, who she's been gone for a while, but has finally like returned to the city after some time. So I really have no clue why. What did you say you put down? Aladdin?
Yeah, I think I put it down because she reminded me of like the chief, like the Sultan's like main guard.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay,
maybe that's
sure.
why. I don't know.
I guess so. That's fair. Hey, if that's what you thought, that works.
We get into a scrap. We kind of get our first taste of these green creatures, and they deal psychic damage as if they were from some different dimension of some sort. It was rather odd. But we get through that. Once again, made a note. General Gunn's looking for immortality in some way.
Yep.
So we get into the university, and another major fight we had was in a classroom, and there were like students in the back, and I think someone was about to execute them, kind of like terrorist style, and we just were trying to get to the back.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting.
Novelle, in order to distract them, pulled out her book and kind of waved it in front of their faces. And
that's right, yeah.
That's when they were like, "Get the girl, forget all the hostages and everyone else." I mean, how'd you feel about that? Like, kind of like, essentially turning the Villacor University from a building that you'd normally go to in the city, and all of a sudden, I guess a dungeon technically.
Just huge dungeon, huge battleground. Yeah. It was changing it up, and it was interesting fighting the Gith. I mean, they were all like psychic magic based. I have in my notes here that like there was at one point magic lifting us off our feet or lifting something off our feet. So yeah, they were. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of wary fighting them.
They did damage too. I remember when I was having like just one attack, Josh, I think, and like he was like shocked at how much damage they were doing just by pulling their blades out and slicing at him. And it got really interesting because in general, out of game, I think this is all of our first encounters with Gith. I've never used them before, and to my surprise too, they were doing pretty good damage on you guys.
They were.
I was like, wow, okay, they're tough. So yeah, I mean the hostage situation was a thing, and you guys learned that from Tone, who was there, Novelle's kind of apprentice student. She let you guys know that her mom was being kind of held hostage in the dean's room, in the headmaster's room, whatever you want to call that room.
That's right.
So Novell like booked it
Oh, but
upstairs.
prior to that tragic
Mhm.
scene, I think Novell sent up Quill to scout into the dean's office,
Oh,
and she saw her mom tied up, but
yep.
Quill unfortunately met his end, kind of.
Yep, Quill did not sneak around well enough, and the Gith was like, "What the hell?" and
Uh,
just punted
no.
Quill back into the astral plane
I
abyss
was so
world.
mad. I was like, I don't know how Chris was feeling, but I was mad. I was like, God
Yeah, the whole
damn.
table was like, "What? Like, is he dead? Dead? Like, wait a minute."
And
I
then
was
you were
like,
like, no, it's
"Well,
a familiar. You can just
yeah." I
send
was
him back.
like, well, but I think summoning a familiar is like like really expensive. It's like a
Oh, is
thousand
it?
gold,
Oh, damn.
maybe. I may be over over whatever it's called that, but summon familiar 5e. Let me see. I know it's pretty expensive though. It's like it's not cheap to like bring them back.
Mm.
Oh, that's a lie. Cut that all out.
All right, the actual value.
Is 10 gold worth of charcoal, incense, herbs, and must be consumed by fire
Oh
in a
man,
brazier.
if you were on D&D Prices Right, you would have gone over.
Well, that's fine familiar. Hold on. What is like
Oh,
warlock familiar 5e? Anyway, I thought maybe no, I'm wrong. I thought it cost a good chunk of change. No, I guess not. I guess it's the same. Yeah, 10 gold. All right. He's not dead. Pretty easy to bring
mm-hmm.
Quill back. But yeah, he did die. It did meet his end for the time being, and currently you
No.
guys don't have Quill running around.
Uh, I want the squirrel back, please. For the love of God, bring him back.
So yeah, you guys continue up there. Um, I don't remember. Did you guys barge into the room or did you just walk in? I don't remember
I
exactly
think
what
we
happened.
barged in because we were
Okay.
pretty mad because we let some of those green little terrorists escape us. Like I believe some of them fled from the classroom fight. So
That's right. Yeah, some of them fled, and then luckily, Torbera came in and had the guards go to the other room that had hostages in there.
yes,
And you guys and Torbera actually went up with you guys upstairs.
yes, and did provide
Um,
a bit of healing if I recall correctly.
yeah, to the best of her ability, but she also had to kind of pocket your guys' potions and
Right.
use them on you guys.
Damn, we
Um,
really need a cleric back. I miss our healer.
um, yeah, that would definitely be a help. But yeah, you guys go up to the headmaster's room, and it's a small room.
Yeah, it is cramped. That is, I have that in my notes, and it's underlined like 3 times, dude. Like you were trying to position minis in that small office space. Like the bookcases were
Yeah,
nice, the
yeah,
ladder was nice, but everything else in there, yeah, it was. Everyone was bumping shoulders. You couldn't move. You just had to just swing in front of you.
yeah, yeah. And you guys fought valiantly in a room filled with about 8 or 10 Gith.
That's right.
Um, Novell ended up getting grappled at some point by Bigby's hand. And you guys actually didn't succeed this fight, man.
No, we did
You guys
not.
all got knocked down, only to
Mm-hmm.
be saved by Novell's
Philosophy.
mom,
Yes.
who decided to take it upon herself to absorb some demon essence
Oh, so
to
is
become a.
that? So how could you, if you could describe that process? Because like I believe she crushes something, which is the demon essence,
Yeah,
obviously. But what exactly was it, like a vial? Was it like a baggie of some sorts?
I'm still trying to figure that out too. I was kind of borrowing from Marvel and the Inhumans, the Terrigenesis crystals, where once you crush them, they become this smoke that transforms you.
Oh, okay.
But also it's also kind of I'm trying to play to what I've created so far in the sense that like Floriana is able to absorb these things into absorb the demons into the dagger, and maybe they figured out a way to imbue it into a crystal that once crushed it they can control a demon for a little bit. um, but I haven't fully, I mean, for the sake of everything I haven't really fully explained that yet to myself. So it's still a mystery even to me, man, what's going on behind the scenes of the higher ups, I guess to say.
Oh man.
But yeah, she becomes a demon and starts chucking Gith out the windows and
Dude,
stuff.
yeah, she laid the smackdown on all of them, and Gun flees. Obviously,
Gun flees once
he
he
doesn't
sees
want a
that.
part of that. And like you
Oh my
said, just
god,
chucks a
yeah.
dude out the window straight up.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
high of was the dean's office?
It's just another floor up, so maybe a good what's like 2 stories, like 20 feet up, is that right?
Something
Does
like
that
that.
sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fairly high up, so a far enough drop. It's like what, 20d6 if you can't succeed that. There's like no, it's for every 5 foot, 5 centimeters. No, that's 4d6. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but regardless, get him a chunk of damage. You're getting thrown out of a window.
That's right. So
um.
at that
Oh,
point,
but she has the dagger too. She
yes,
also had the dagger.
I was
on the
gonna
table.
mention that because like at
Yeah.
this point the fight's done, but we still got this demon mama running around, and yeah,
Right.
the dagger was there. Of course, my character has to have his conflicts with it, and I get tempted once again with
Yeah.
the thought of like immense power and the power to bench press.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was when the bench press started
Yeah,
happening.
I was just trying to be stupid and goofy as usual because he was going, yes,
Yep.
you could rule the world, and I could bench press.
Yeah, you're like, I just want to bench press. It's like you could bench press the world.
It's like, and I'm like, oh yeah, that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
It's like, go ahead, keep being funny. I'm gonna twist it however I can.
so
But yeah, as usual, that demon decided to fool with you as much as it can.
yes, by making demon essence a metaphor for steroids, and I take the dagger, but I do something cool with it. I climb a bookcase, and I jump, and I kind of like do one of those jumping stabs onto the demon.
Yeah.
And she turns back to normal after the absorption.
Right. Yeah, you absorb it, and the philosophy kind of passes out. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what happens. I mean, you guys spend the rest of the day kind of recovering and fixing the university. And then I kind of had to retcon that it took the whole weekend to kind of just to fix the university and kind of push some time ahead for the next event that was happening to make more sense. To your point, some things were happening, and it seems pretty weird that a festival all of a sudden just started beginning like the day afterwards or something. Which I think worked. I wanted the Greengrass to begin on a Monday anyway, and this event happened on a Friday. So you guys pretty much spend your weekend resting, and the Greengrass celebrations happened. So I don't know if you had any final remarks on the attack on the Villacor University.
Just a couple notes. I think we were able to interrogate one of the Gith, and we've learned that the green people are from the astral plane, and that Gun says that there's like a war going on between the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zari, if I had those names correct.
Gith Zerai, yeah.
Zerai?
Zerai, at least that's how I say it.
Oh, okay. I think that's how you... See, the pronunciation versus how I write it, it doesn't come back till we discuss it.
Yeah,
but anyways,
that's fine.
So it's essentially, I don't know how much you want to delve into that, but is this based on like the lore of D&D, or is this two tribes that you made up yourself?
No, the Gith Zerai and the Gith Yankee are a Dungeons and Dragons actual lore as written, along with the astral plane and their war and everything.
So maybe kind of like a little tidbit, what's going on with them? Is it class? Is it socioeconomic? Is it racial? Is it all of it? Like, what is the difference between these two green peoples that make them fight each other?
I guess, how do I simplify it? Simplified, pretty much the Zerai just want peace. But so I guess I can't really simplify it without going into a little bit of detail. The Gith in general were slaves to the Mind Flayers, and they both broke out at some point and gained freedom. The Zerai want peace and just don't want anything to do with the Mind Flayers, while the Yankee want to hunt and kill every Mind Flayer that exists.
Oh, okay.
Much. That is my understanding of the Gith as written.
That's interesting.
Which may or may not come into play, but obviously it is linked to Novelle's personal stuff. So
Okay.
I will leave it
More of
there.
that coming soon.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
Okay.
but yes, the Gith. You can read about the Gith. It is. You can't. There won't be any spoilers in regards to our game, but if you are curious about the Gith, it is a thing that exists out there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, other than that, all I just wrote down, like you said, the university's getting cleaned up. But one of the things that stood out to me was the fact that it was kind of like a post-police shootout where, you had this detail of putting, some of the Gith in, like, body bags, putting them in a cart, and just,
Right,
for lack of a better term, just cleaning it all up. And
yeah,
I don't know, just very visceral, very real. Like, this is
Yeah.
death, and this is what happens in the town. And it's, ironically, the contrast is, like you were saying, like, there's this happy celebration that goes on the next day, but the 2 days earlier, just this massacre of, like, people, students getting threatened to be killed. It's just
right.
so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine if in the real world, I guess, and maybe not. Maybe I live in such a peaceful mindset that as much as terrible things happen, I mean, next day comes and same stuff still happen.
That's
In
true.
regards to a game, right? Like, we can spend the whole in-game couple days mourning if you wanted to. It's
That's
up
what
to
I
you
was.
guys.
Well, not necessarily mourning, but that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, I was kind of expecting, like, the next day, maybe not from the king himself, but like, so who's the guy who makes the royal decrees? Just like
Sure,
the
yeah.
mouth of the king or whatever.
I get what you're saying.
Like, just
No,
like
for sure.
makes like a somber speech, like at this to start this festivities. Like, although this happened, it won't break our
Right.
spirit. We'll continue and live the Doricum away, or something like that.
Right. No, that's fair. That's completely fair. I think that's something I would like to retcon in, I guess, at this point. It's a little bit of a mix of a couple of things of, like, I didn't think that way, for one. Two, honestly, the Greengrass celebrations was created a day before the the session. So it wasn't really all lined up to be that way.
Okay.
And the attack on Villacor I wasn't sure when I was going to throw that in anyway. So a lot of the stuff that I kind of wanted to play out as events kind of just happened, in regards to me just being like, yeah, I guess this is what's going to happen next. And yeah, to your point, that's true. I should have had that. I should have had the Greengrass celebration start that way, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I wanted to retcon the couple days of cleanup and stuff. And to your point, have the king definitely come out and say something on the matter, to not be concerned, and they're dealing with it the best they possibly can and whatnot. So, along with the demon attacks and everything, it's just, there's a lot happening.
Yes.
So you have a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, you can't hide this. You can't hide a floating ship that's like right in the middle of the town.
No, yeah,
demon stuff.
not.
Yeah, maybe that's all right. But...
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I think that's how the world probably would have reacted, for sure. It was, like, explanation of that. People probably getting upset, but the world continuing to move forward come Monday. So
that is true.
It's weird. It's crazy, and that's right. That's true. I completely agree with that. So.
Oh, but you did do this. If you want to start, like, just jumping into the Greengrass celebration, if you're ready.
I'm ready. Yeah.
You did mention, like, Radlith, and, like, there are just more guards in the vicinity. So there was in the world a reaction to this event.
It's
in some way. Yeah.
Yeah, they're as heightened as they possibly can be. The EAA guards there's a lot more hieries of the EAA that exist as well.
Mm-hmm.
So things are getting a little tense, I guess.
Yeah.
In not the best way possible, but yeah, it's a thing that's happening.
But like you say, life goes on, and
Right.
all these shops are set up. You mentioned there was like a coin game. There's a mineral game, some fishing spots.
Yep.
So it was just a very nice festivity going on this day one.
Yeah. And you guys took at it. I think the biggest thing in regards to gameplay was, like, I think I wanted to push away from most of the main quest feeling stuff and let you guys kind of just enjoy that you completed a couple things and just do
just relax
more enjoyable game stuff. Yeah, exactly. So, and you guys partook in all that stuff.
We did.
Trying to
Albeit,
remember.
Thalion was a bit kind of just like cynical about the whole ideal,
Right, which is fair.
which is fair. Oh, I
Yeah.
did want to mention, I wrote this down. Happy thoughts with Drax. He just wanted to kill everyone in town.
Yeah, that was as a DM that terrified me.
Yeah, because
Uh,
in a split second, you have this Goliath just swinging. What does he use? An axe?
uh, he has like 3 weapons. I think I know one is a great club. He might have an axe as
Okay, I
well.
was gonna say club, but I thought that'd be racist. Because
Okay.
the Goliath. Okay, fine. Then I can actually say it. Thank you. So I was scared. Like we got this giant Goliath just swinging his club, like knocking
Yeah.
people left and right.
I don't know how that's racist.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking like Skyrim and all the giants had clubs.
Species. Well, Goliath isn't a giant though, so
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm wrong
You
in
got
that
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 too.
regard. Okay.
that's racist.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Goliaths aren't technically giants. But anyway, I
Put
get
a
what
picture
you're
of a Goliath on the screen, and then for the
yeah,
the video version,
yeah, go for it. Take a look at a Goliath, and then
and then
take
yeah,
a
and
look
then
at a
put
giant.
a giant next to him.
Goliath 5e, and then giant 5e. Yeah, yeah, they're not all necessarily. They're not. I don't remember. I don't want. We'll talk about the lore.
One looks like Kratos, the other one just has a cool beard.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, Goliath is up to, I think, 9 feet, while a giant can tower up to maybe double that.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, they're definitely different. A giant can go up to 18 feet in height and weigh up to 1,700 pounds, while a Goliath, I think, can only go up to 340 pounds and I think 9 feet. So,
Okay.
a giant is double of what Drax would be.
Got it. But still, you
Yeah.
have this large man
Very true. Yes,
who is
he
just
is a large man.
very unstable. Well, I don't know if
Yeah.
unstable is the right word, but I don't know. Your talent is fine. If anything happens, I'll try to like put a sleeper hold on him and knock him out. But
Well,
no, he was fine though. He was fine, and he's fine. He's good.
He's fine. No, for sure. And, like, I got a little nervous when he did that because I was just like, uh-oh, what's going on here? I've read stories about this, and it's like, all right, let's see what happens, man. Like, we'll see if it just becomes a player versus player game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't know
That'd be
what's going on
scary.
with
But
that.
I know I wouldn't
But-
condone it, or I wouldn't support it. I guess.
Yeah, it was just so random because it was just like, what are you doing? I'm sitting in my room trying not to kill everyone.
Yeah, I have the urge is
Yeah,
running
like,
through my veins.
okay, moving on to the next player. Like completely breaking my mental thought at that point in time.
Yeah, that was out of left field.
So yeah, it'll be interesting because Josh seems to be playing very improv with that character.
He is, which is
Whatever
very good, like I
impulsive.
said.
Yeah. So I mean, if anything, I guess it's really up to you guys to let the cards play where they play.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, after that morning, was there anything else you wanted to point out that morning as well?
Just the general events or chain of events. So we got Drax doing his meditations. We got Novelle getting some mahi mahi for her father
Right.
through the
That's
fishing
right.
game. I got a
Forgot
Sword
about
Coast
that.
Snapper. I don't know how good that tastes
did.
compared to mahi mahi, but it is what I got through my rolls. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Novelle gets Carrot the rabbit.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Got a new squirrel.
bumps-
That's great.
yeah, for the school at least. It was for Tone specifically, if anything.
Oh, so that's not her personal. Like,
It wasn't for her. No, she bought
I
it for
see.
Tone as a way to kind of apologize for the crap that Tone has been through the past couple of months,
Here's
past
a-
month or so.
here's a cute bunny. I hope this doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope all these events doesn't dampen our friendship. So.
Yeah, that really was what it was. And she even bumped into Elid here, which
Yes.
I think is kind of what you're waiting for.
That's an
to
important
talk
point.
about.
But leading up to that, a few things, other things.
Well, not you, but her. She bumped into him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was like from your perspective, how did that feel? Of like,
I felt like I went to the wrong
As-
place.
as Neil the player, I mean, like
I don't know,
as-
like the first thought of my head was, oh, why did I go to do? Because I did sewing lessons. Because that's what all the cool kids were doing.
Yeah, okay.
So I
That's
don't
right.
know. But my like if I didn't go there, I think my second option would have been to tag along with the Novell to get a new squirrel. So that
Okay.
I'm like, so the first thought is what could have been, and then
Yeah.
the second that actually no, that's it. Just how would that have played differently if I was there at that right time?
Right.
But by the
Yeah,
end of the
true.
session, it didn't matter because it still happened.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about the rest of the things that happened.
Okay, relaxation station. There's a bathhouse of goblins, and Drax is
Yeah.
so big, he had
Right.
30 goblins rubbing his everything.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, 3 goblins had to stack up so they can massage his whole back at once.
I wanted to make a happy ending joke, but I reserved not to.
Oh gosh. You guys bump into Princess Shen too?
Yeah,
Who's
and
moving
she has
freely.
been training,
Yeah.
which was very cool.
You guys play the Sugi Light Mineral game, which thought it was kind of funny that you guys were like, wait, so this is straight up pure luck? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, okay.
Okay.
Like, damn it. There's no like. It's like, sorry, some of these games just kind of suck, just like real carnival
I
games.
mean, pretty much. Like, what are you expecting? Like, you should have had, like,
Yeah.
the duck game or the throw the ring thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was the equivalent, but with rocks.
Yeah.
So,
And I also
that was
found
fine.
it funny that Shen and Novell got their fake matching rocks or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Wrote that down. You guys find your way to Takaiway Goods.
Droop is there, Barry's there.
Yep, and you also get the menu, which you get upset about the guacamole again.
Yeah, that's right, man. I don't know why they keep selling that. They got the wiener salad, the wiener bouquet. They got
Oh, you
all
wrote
that
the whole
good-
menu down?
I mean, I wrote out the ones that stood out to me. So it's
Nice.
wiener guacamole.
Wiener guacamole. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much that stand.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, that's when which I felt kind of bad because I think Drax kind of got into it. It was like, oh, I want to. Well, first off, he asked Princess Shen, any place you got blood sport, which was like concerning.
If we had time, I was actually thinking, I couldn't get it out because I think we were just winding down the session, but I wanted to do like a improvisational like wrestling session, like kind of like a street performer, but
With Drax.
yeah, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
That didn't.
No,
happen.
and that I can see you guys doing that for sure.
Maybe
And
Dave.
then
How long is this festival?
Drax ends up killing you. The festival.
Jesus.
It's a week. It lasts. a
Okay,
week.
so maybe like day 3, day 4.
Yeah. So yeah, and sorry, and you guys were gonna go to Senzo's stand, which was pointed out. That's why I'm saying I felt a little bad because I think the whole time Josh wasn't really in the zone for anything until he wanted something kind of Drax character speaking, like strength test of strength or some sort of blood sport or killing thing. So I did introduce it, but to your point, it was also winding down. So I was like, my brain was kind of like fiddling with everything. I was like, I mean, you guys can do it the next session.
Oh yeah,
continue
we'll touch
through.
on it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I mean, you guys bump into an Aarakocra, which you find out to be Valari, the Elder. Was the first NPC that I created, but also the first NPC in this
that we
campaign
met,
in
yeah.
general that you guys met.
Dude, it feels like a
That's
blur, like being in that
Right?
town. It's like, oh, it was so populated, and like we were all just in another giant town that got overrun by demons. And I'm pretty sure there's like a murder investigation going on. Like there's so many cool things just happening in that beginning, but it felt like such a long time ago.
Yeah, right. It was crazy. I was like, I wonder how you guys feel like, because this was kind of my point of doing this. Was like, let's throw NPCs. From the
bridge
past.
that gap.
See how everyone feels about that. So Valari made a quick return, to the point. She was there visiting her friends, if anything, which was, looking from trying to put myself out of context of like not realizing what any of this would be is like, that's weird, but okay. And then you find her friends come out of a mask stall to. Did you expect this, I guess, to happen? where Achillia was one of the friends, and eventually the other person with her to pull off his mask to reveal that it was
Was
Eladier.
Ezio Auditore? No, I wish. But no, I was not expecting it because I don't know.
You
I
were
just felt
not
like
okay.
the Heroes of Zalani was like a boy band and they broke up and like they're all doing their own thing. I wasn't expecting, despite the fact that you've constantly described Eladier being one having a pet shop and a mercenary guild in the town and having a cabin nearby. But
Right.
I was not expecting him and like Achillia. Like it'd be one or the other. You know, it wouldn't be like
Okay.
a group of them together.
Sure. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. But yeah. So that's pretty cool. So they show up, and Achillia takes off her mask to be like, "Hey, it's you guys. What's up?" Blah blah blah. Visiting back, like, I got some free time to do the Greengrass stuff. Here I am. And then the guy takes off his mask, and I gotta ask you what was going through your mind at this point, because I already
Uh,
hinted he was there, right?
yeah,
And
because
then
like obviously with the pet shop thing,
uh-huh.
I mean like yeah, he was there, and then I don't know, just I thought I missed my chance. I thought it was just like dramatic irony where Eladier and Falion are never in the same room. Type of situation.
They're the same person.
I wrote that down. I'm like, am I Eladier? Like, is it like a Fight Club type thing where I'm both Brad Pitt and Ed Norton at the same time? Because I technically am.
Yeah, you really are. That's true.
And then
in the real world.
the ending of my personal quest is I shoot an arrow through my throat. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, but no, dude, it was so out of left field. Didn't like. Luckily, you ended the session because I didn't know how else to proceed. And luckily, after the session ended and like a few days ago, we kind of just talked up to prep for the confrontation for the next session. So I'm ready for it now. I wasn't ready for it that session ago, but yeah, it's going down. It's gonna go down. There's no running. There's no running away now.
He's
Falion,
gone. He's
Eladier, necklace. Who will live?
Falion wakes up and looks in the mirror. He's Eladier. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no, dude, that'd be a crazy plot twist.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'm surprised you weren't expecting. I'm actually surprised because I think I tried to hint that when he was saying goodbye to Lee, I think is the owner of Eclipse. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go check out the festival. You got this covered," and he like just left.
Yeah, and I thought that was left as in you don't see him.
Like
until...
you'll know they won't bump into it. You guys.
Yeah,
won't bump into
like
him
that
again.
was your one
Gotcha.
shot, you just missed it, type of thing.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was like, I want to throw it in front of you. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that was a good way to
So,
end the session right there.
But yeah, that was feeling green. I mean, you guys ran into the green Gith and the Greengrass celebrations began. So I mean, overall, man, what are your thoughts going through this whole entire session?
Overall, just once again, just a good contrast between this is conflict and then this is like peacetime, and it was a good change of pace actually. I mean, we are so accustomed to fighting and knowing like okay, there's some bad guys around the corner, but to actually just have a chance to rest, I think that was pretty. Like I said, it was a good change of pace, and I kind of appreciate it. Just being able to not have to think about dying for a good half a session.
Right.
Getting to learn more of the town, getting to learn more of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
It was all good. And one of the things I wanted to mention was that we were talking about the princess, and like you described her like cool ass sword, like how like it's like a dragon, hilt.
Mm-hmm.
But with tiefling horns, kind of like reminiscent of obviously her.
Right.
So.
Yep, the Dorakuma blade.
So that's a pretty nice blade. I might like steal it off her.
Okay, good to know that.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Just curious the evolution of the princess as the session goes on.
Yeah, she's.
Was she the masked fighter helping us fight those tree demons? Who knows? That was my first guess, but I don't know. I don't think she's that fast yet. Not yet, at least. Who's training her? Is it Radlith?
It's her mom at the moment.
Okay.
That you know of, yeah.
I would think like the special, like whatever the equivalent of like the Royal War Master is. I would expect that to be her trainer. That's just
I don't know, man. Maybe it's Doctor Who.
Yes, it's him. We'll see.
But yeah, man. I mean, another cliffhanger, pretty much.
Another cliffhanger.
And yeah, like you said, we discussed it, which is always nice to be able to prep for the next session. And actually, I spoke to everyone about it. Pretty interesting to see who wants to do what in this situation.
In my situation?
In the situation in general, yeah.
That we're all in now.
You got to remember, everyone knows that Phalion wants to kill Elid here. That's something you divulge to everyone.
Oh no, so... Drax doesn't know yet. But
well, okay.
But he's probably gonna back me.
Yeah, he probably will back you. He'll be like, "Sweet, anything about I can get his teeth."
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, I never had elf teeth before.
But yeah, let's just say that it's pretty. I spoke to everyone about it, and it's be interesting what happens next session. So
definitely.
But yeah, if you got nothing and then I got nothing, I think we can call this a discussion. Unless you got another thing.
Nope, that's about it. Just prepping for next Sunday at Hell in a Cell. Elidir, your ass is mine.
Oh man, everyone's gonna die.
We'll see.
And that was our sessions, which, thinking about it now, felt pretty short for both, but also a lot happened, so that was pretty neat.
They were, and I think this is kind of just, maybe we're still trying to get used to that transition of shorter sessions, ending at 6-ish, 7-ish.
That's true. I guess we are doing we're doing 4 to 5 hour sessions rather than 8 hour sessions or so. So, which I think is nice though. A lot happens, and I think at least for me, I really want the next session. Sometimes there were times where I'm just I'm good on D&D.
Yeah,
for
a week or
two.
Get too much of a good thing, you get too much of it.
But now it's no, I kind of want to see what happens next. Let's keep going. So, yeah, man, it's always a good time. So, but on to our favorite and most important part of our podcast, your topic of the day. What's going on? What's happening in the world of Neil?
Dude, I'm scared, bro. Have you heard of the deep fake stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all, how recent is this? Because I'm learning of it now. Yeah.
Deepfakes, I want to say maybe are 6 months, maybe even a year.
Okay, so relatively new.
Relatively new, yeah.
But I just watched a video. It was Joe Rogan on top of Dr. Evil's body, and they were reenacting. It's him and his usual crew who's on his podcast, or guests, I guess, on his podcast, and they were him, Brendan Schaub was Mini-Me, Theo Von was whoever Seth Green's character was. I forgot his name already. But yeah, it was it was so one-to-one, and it was so real. But then I kept reading into deep fakes, and then, as funny as this clip of Joe Rogan is in an Austin Powers movie, it can also lead to a lot of security concerns, which is scary.
Oh yeah, as usual, and of course the sources I watch this stuff in is Philip DeFranco, so it gets from all the way from the start, where a lot of it was messy because people were using it, of course, to put famous people into porn. And
that's funny. I never thought of that till you just said it now.
Well, my point to that though is, of course, technology. A lot of technology is driven by that industry. So it's interesting that that was a thing where people were oh, it can put whoever celebrity. Which first off, it ends up being really creepy and just terrifying that you can do that. And then of course it stems from there to cyberbullying of you could put anyone's face onto there, and then I think people are now getting a grasp of the technology, and it's we can put their faces into whatever movies, and it looks real and it's cool. And then, but to your point, every interesting tool that's used for fun and whatever can be used for evil, and it's that's scary, man. You
It
get 3
is.
angles of your face. I could put you in whatever I want.
And that's what amazes me so much, just the fact of how clean this is. Like
It is, yeah.
this is just an app, and it's just like getting the, like you said, the dimensions, the size of your face, and then just maps
Right.
it onto the movie so well, or the whatever video
Right.
it is.
Yep. It's scary, man. Like I remember when I was watching that initially, and it's like that's exactly what they were talking about, was just like, yeah, whatever, like, it's not whatever, but yeah, it's people are doing it to be perverts, but now it's like, think of like the presidential election. Like those guys play dirty, man. They
Yeah,
can
you
put
don't know
their
who
faces
says
on
what now.
whatever.
It's like,
Yeah, it's actually, and that's actually, and you say you don't know who says what. There's a video too, man, of AI. There's like there's like a AI learning computer whatever thing that is learning. Oh no, you didn't you send this to me? Did we talk about this prior on the last, on a couple podcasts ago? Um, they were able to create Joe Rogan,
yes,
like,
yes, yes.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about that on a podcast, or did we just
I think we
talk
just
about
straight
that?
up talked about it, because you were telling
Okay.
me it was just someone, like a very, very, really close AI that sounded and had the tonation of Joe Rogan, just saying random
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, man. Like, imagine fusing that with deepfakes. You can
Yeah.
make like a completely fake video of someone that is so real. It could feel so real. It's so scary. The world is a lie, man.
Oh yeah, that's just like one, Skype call away from, hey, I need my password to this. Could you give it to me?
Right? Right? Oh
Oh
man, it's
man.
crazy, dude. But yeah, dude, like, uh, sorry, I didn't mean to drive that into a completely
No, no,
terrifying
this is
direction,
this
but
is the discussion that I wanted to have, because, like I
gotcha.
said, this started in my mind from a funny ass Austin Powers Joe
Oh,
Rogan
okay, yeah, yeah.
mashup, but yeah, this is the truth and the reality of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I want to say a year. So I mean, yeah, you're lucky you found like the nicer kind of side to it. Of like, oh,
Yeah,
it's
use
funny.
of
We
it.
could, yeah, we could put a dude in a whatever,
Austin
in like
Powers
the
movie,
Austin
yeah.
Powers. I could put my friends in the Austin Powers movie. It'd be great. It's like, yeah, but also the world sucks and everyone wants to use their technology for bad. So here's yeah.
Oh, fucking course.
So enjoy your bubble for
Yes,
those who are,
I will.
enjoy that bubble, or stop taking selfies, because I think that's another reason why I stopped, like, because you're not on social media, man. So
I'm
again,
not. No, I'm
I
just
will always
isolated
be
for
like,
everything.
I will always tell you, man, good for you. Don't put your face on the internet, because dude, people just take that stuff and will do whatever the heck they want with it, man. And it's like, you technically can't, you can fight it, but like,
No,
only
it's
when you
at that
discover
point.
it's being
Yeah,
used.
and it's too late at that point.
Yeah, I think just recently Instagram was like, they had like a new notice out there, or like an update to their privacy policy, and it's like they're allowed to take your photos and sell them now or something. I don't know.
Wow.
So, yeah, stay off of social media if you can, people. Or if you're using social media, use like a fake picture,
Hmm.
like a cartoon picture, or
Use did I tell this story before? I think I
I don't
told you
know.
this, but not on podcast. But I
Sure.
remember one of my old coworkers. It was either Uber or Lyft, but I think both of them require you to have a profile with a photo on it, so the
Yeah.
driver can look at you and know you're not going to kill him.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So my friend was. It was like late at night. I think he was drinking. It was like 3 a.m. and he's like he needed a ride, so he made an Uber account and all that. And like
Hmm.
the driver wouldn't pick him up for a photo without the photo. So he just
Yeah.
quickly went into like the restaurant he was in, took a picture of like a Tapatio bottle, like the Mexican dude on the bottle, and he used that as
Okay.
his photo. And then the driver took him. So
What?
I don't know.
Huh.
That just popped in my mind. But yeah,
Interesting.
use a fake picture on all your profile accounts.
Yeah, right. Well, jeez. So anyway, if you're surfing the internet, be safe out there. Don't be a bully. Don't do things that you wouldn't want people to do to you. Yeah, and just enjoy the positives.
Enjoy that Tapatio.
Exactly. And be good to each other. Be kind to each other. We'll talk to you guys later. See you on the next podcast. Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I was like, I didn't hear any closing meal
Well,
remarks.
no, I was looking at T-shirts of Tapatio, man.
Thanks. You're already not paying attention to the other podcast. I see how it
There's
is.
one on Walmart that says, "Is it hot in here or is it just me?" It's the Tapatio guy. Oh wait, no, this is a magnet. Sorry, you can include this in the end.
Oh my gosh.